Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
All righty, here we go, kicking it off on a Tuesday. If it's Tuesday, you know our show, the Young Norvelle Show. We are deep in the heart of Mandarin, baby. This is about as Duval as you can get. Some good old folk over here in Mandarin, right at the foot of the Jointed Creek Bridge, Hurricane Jointed Creek. They specialize in, of course, Hurricane's Grill and wings. Wings, if it's in the name. On this menu, you got a lot of wing choices, I guarantee you that. But there's a lot more on the menu. Their entrees include seafood, burgers, salad, chilies, side items. They've got quesadillas. I tell you folks all the time, do not sleep on the Hurricane Jointed Creek tacos, a big taco selection, on and on and on. Great sandwiches, Philly steak, buttermilk chicken sandwich, on and on and on. Great wings, 30 different sauce flavors. But that's not the only thing on the menu. Come by, check it out, find out for yourself if you're in and around the Mandarin area. Hurricane Jointed Creek, right at the foot of the Jointed Creek Bridge on San Jose Boulevard. Hi, everybody. Welcome to a Tuesday edition. Terry Norvelle, we got a lot to get to. Hope to hear from Patrick Young a little bit later. We're also going to talk some baseball, some high school, college, Major League Baseball. Our buddy Trenton Torsia. You know, Trent, he's been on our show for 2 or 3 years. He's one of our baseball experts, really knows the high school, college game and Major League Baseball game. Trent is heading to a high school playoff game as we speak. We hope to check in with Trent about 4:40 before. I think he's heading over to University Christian, taking on maybe St. John's Country Day. So Trent will catch us up what's going on with high school baseball playoffs as they are about to head. I think you're about to head to regionals Final Four. So we're getting late in the high school baseball athletic season. And, of course, baseball, one of, if not the last sports along with softball to be played. We'll catch up with Trenton Torsia and talk some high school baseball in our area. College baseball, he played at Mississippi State. Really want to get his thoughts on, boy, the Bulldogs. They fired their coach a week ago, and they've yet to lose. SEC baseball and then Major League Baseball. Dodgers roughed up the Braves. Braves now on a 2-game winning streak, though. We'll talk about a lot of baseball with Trenton Torsia coming up around 4:40 here on the Young and Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks. A bunch of topics to get into. Todd Golden has gotten compensated. We expected that. Nick Saban, of all people, Nick Saban has been dressed down in public. And let me say this, we won't get into this right now, but Nick Saban is a pretty big boy in the world of the world to get dressed down. He got dressed down a little bit, and not a lot of people have more panache than Nick Saban. Well, a sitting Supreme Court judge has a little more panache, and Nick Saban gets dressed down. We'll talk about that. I kind of agree with it a little bit. We'll get into that as we go. Todd Golden, I mentioned a moment ago, a really handsome extension. That was obviously going to happen from the University of Florida. It does nothing to lock Golden at Florida because, as you know, when players and or coaches have these lifetime or extended contracts, we've got you for 6 years, for 8 years at this much. Well, that's wonderful. But if Todd Golden 2 years from now goes to the University of Florida and says, hey, guys, I love what we did here at Florida. I love the titles. I love the wins. I love the way this job has amplified my coaching resume. I'm ready to try the NBA. I don't really want to be here anymore. You don't force a coach to stay. Just like in the real world, if your assistant manager or manager walks up to you and says, I'm just not feeling it anymore. I know I signed a 3-year contract, but you don't force them to stay. But Todd Golden, good for him. He deserves a big-time extension. I think I saw where Todd Golden will be compensated now as one of the top 5 college basketball coaches in the country. And that says a lot when you've got a guy like Bill Self. I don't think he's a great coach, but Bill Self has been at Kansas a long time. You've got guys like Pitino coming back into the game. You've got guys like that. Good for Todd Golden. He deserves every penny he gets as and while he is the coach at Florida. We'll get into that. Kirby Smart, the Georgia Bulldogs, they just keeping on. Kirby Smart and his Georgia team. Now, I understand this is a commitment, not a signing, but Kirby, we talked yesterday. It broke yesterday with Brent Beard here on the program. The number 1 quarterback in the class of 2026, a kid by the name of Jared Curtis, has committed verbally to Georgia. If that holds, and we expect it will, Georgia, it looks like the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart, once the 2026 recruiting class is finished, and that will be in December, when they actually sign, it appears for all things that reflect it, it appears that Georgia will finish at least in the top 3 in the national recruiting class grading for the 10th consecutive year. That's how you win a bunch of games. Guys, that is how you win a bunch of games. And remember the big difference, not the big difference, but one of the big differences between the NFL and how they stock their roster and college football. College football, you are not necessarily punished for being good. In the NFL, you are punished for being good. And the NFL puts great, they want parity. Parity is the big name in the NFL. The more games you win, theoretically, and you can make trades. I get that. There are trades in the NFL. But theoretically, the better you play season A, the lower you draft in season B. It's not that way in college. And this is one of the things I like this about college football. You are not punished for being good in college football. It's not like the powers that be in college football say, okay, the upcoming recruiting class, hey, Georgia, you've been really good. Hey, Ohio State, you just won the national title last year. Hey, Alabama, you guys don't get to sign any guys for the first 50 players have to sign before, right? There is no punishment. You can stay good in college football, and I like it. I like that. Kirby Smart looking at 10 consecutive top 3 recruiting classes if this thing holds, and I think it will all the way through December. The sports calendar, I want to bring this up. I'm mad at the NBA right now because of the sports calendar. And you may be wondering what the hell I'm talking about. With that, I may ask if my main man, Casey Kurtz, is available to fire up his microphone. Casey, the sports calendar right now, there's only really one void, if you ask me, in the calendar, and we're in it right now. March Madness just ended, right? The draft just ended. We've got this little awkward 6-week period. If we can just get to late June, guess what? July 4th weekend. After July 4th weekend, the NFL camp's open. SEC media, it's football season after July 4th. My problem with the NBA is, why is it not more? If the NBA was more compelling like it used to be, we would be just chomping at the bit for the NBA playoffs right now for the next 3 or 4 weeks. And that would get us where we need to go. Casey, why do we just, unless you are a hardcore NBA fan, we just don't care. And I don't know why. I want the NBA from the 80s and the NBA from the 90s. Celtics, Lakers, 76ers here and there. Karl Malone with Utah. Obviously, this guy named Jordan with Chicago. The Bad Boys, Detroit. What happened to the NBA? And I want that back because that would fill this void, Casey. I'm not happy, Casey.
I mean, are you totally out on hockey?
Absolutely. A hockey puck could hit me in the face right now, and I wouldn't care.
I mean,
hurt.
it would hurt.
Yes.
You probably need to go to the hospital.
And I know everybody says there's nothing better. I think we had a 7th game sudden death the other night, right?
We had 2 of them.
Oh, my God. Talk to me about it. Am I missing it?
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, if a hockey puck could hit you in the face and you would go on about your day, you're probably not missing it. But, I mean, if you're in for, the drama and whatnot, I mean, you had a Game 7 between Winnipeg, which is in Canada, which is very far from here, and the St. Louis Blues that went – it was Game 7 already, so win and go home, and then it went into double overtime. So, I mean, it was pretty good. Pretty good TV.
And that's sudden death, right?
Yes, correct. First team to score 1.
Now, my comeback to that, Casey, is
okay.
All that sounds wonderful, but I've played a little baseball. I've hit a ball. I've fielded a ball. I've played games. I even up until about the 9th or 10th grade, I played this sport called football. I ran, got tackled, threw passes, caught passes. I never, ever at basketball. I played, even though I'm 5'0",
sure.
I played organized basketball, layups, jump shots, pressing, running around like crazy. I never, ever skated around with a stick in my hand and tried to put a puck in right. That's my issue with hockey. I've never played it.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah,
I mean, I like hockey. I'm admittedly a hockey fan, so I was watching, but I get it. It's
Who's your team?
Oh, I'm a Lightning fan, so they're done. But I mean, I can watch anybody.
So they got knocked out by Florida, who's the defending champion, right?
That is correct. Both of those things are correct.
Now, my biggest issue is not hockey. I understand there is a big – it would be like saying, why isn't Nebraska, the University of Nebraska, a good surfing school? Okay, I understand that.
Sure.
There's not a beach near Nebraska. I get that. My big issue right now with the sports calendar, why the hell and where the hell did the NBA lose everybody? When I grew up, Celtics, Lakers, 80s was massive. And then you had a guy named Dr. J with the 76ers. They reared their head. And then Karl Malone and John Stockton reared their head. And then somebody named Michael Jordan popped up. And then somewhere around the early 90s, unless you're a hardcore, the NBA, why is the NBA gone other than the hardcore fan? If we had the NBA right now, it would be a great bridge to get us to July 4th because the NBA Finals end. I wrote it down. The NBA Finals, if they go, I wrote it down somewhere. If the NBA Finals, here we go. If they go 7 games, it would get us to June 22nd. Dude, all we need is the NBA to get compelling again, and we have no void in the sports calendar, Casey. No void.
So is it a superstar problem for you? Because, I mean, look, last night we had a couple of good games. But
I know.
I mean,
Casey, help me out. Michael Jordan, once he cycled through finally in the 90s, it feels like the NBA then became a very niche sport. If you love the NBA, you love it. But I don't feel people talking NBA around the water cooler in the 90s, the 2000s, in corporate America, like I think they did with Jordan and with the Celtics and with the I don't know. I don't know, but I wish the NBA was more compelling nationally because I feel like it would bridge the gap from March Madness, the Masters, through NFL camp. Right.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'll watch some NBA playoffs. Like I watched the Knicks a little bit last night. I did not watch any of the Nuggets. But I'll tell you this, I don't watch NBA during the regular season. So the postseason makes me watch a little more, but I'm in no way saying, oh, I have to be home tonight at 7 to watch Pacers Cavs. If I got nothing else going, I'll watch it. Or same thing at 9:30. I might turn on to see what's going on with Anthony Edwards and what's going on with the Warriors. But I mean, it's not in my opinion, the biggest draw of all time. But if it's
Yeah,
on, I got nothing
yeah.
else going, I will watch it.
Somehow, and I don't know how, and certainly the NBA probably doesn't know how, because if they did, they would go back. Somehow, what I'm going to call the peak of the NBA, 80s, 90s, 80s, early 90s. Somehow it was individuals and the team. Now it's just individuals. I mean, when I really was in love with the NBA, 80s, 90s, Celtics, Bird, McHale, Parrish, Ainge, Lakers, Magic, Kareem, Byron Scott, James Worthy. And then you would still, in the 80s, you would have somebody rear their head. A guy named Dr. J, Moses Malone, 76ers. As this guy named Jordan became Jordan, he still got challenged by Karl Malone and John Stockton and Utah. And it was so compelling, 80s, early 90s. And then somewhere, Casey, help, I don't know why, it just kind of fell off. Now, is the NBA really popular? Yes. But the NBA right now is not transcendent popular. It is, you got to be an NBA fan to follow it. Not much like March Madness. There are so many just average fans that follow it. Back in the 80s and the 90s, the average water cooler fan in corporate America was talking Lakers, Celtics. It was East Coast, West Coast. I want it back, and it would fill a void, Casey. It would fill a really good void right now, and it doesn't.
Yeah, I think you might just be stuck watching more Yellowstone, Terry. I think that just might be.
I guess so. And the acting is it's terrible. It's terrible. All right, Casey. It's a Tuesday. It's a little bit overcast. Not it's kind of a mundane day. So I figured, why not take this Tuesday and you ready to bash soccer? Can we bash soccer?
I mean, you can. I like soccer, but you can do what you need to do.
All right. So you got to hear this story.
Okay.
You got here is story number 8,428,300 gazillion reasons why I think Americans will not ever like soccer. All right, Casey, we're going to the MLS. You've heard of that, right? The MLS.
Major League Soccer. I watch it occasionally.
Major Leagues. That is what, an American soccer professional league, right?
That is the highest level of American soccer, yes.
Okay. All right, here's what recently happened, Casey. And I need you to help me with this, okay?
Okay.
So, the Kansas City Hockey Club in the MLS, they have a match. They're playing the LA Galaxy.
Sure.
And Casey, Kansas City wins the soccer match.
Mm-hmm.
They win 1-0. And they get, I guess, 3 points for the win. That's kind of how that league works. Points for wins.
That is correct.
1 point for loss. Win over to blah, blah, blah. So Kansas City, how soccer is this? Kansas City gets the win 1-0. They get their 3 points. Casey, here's how they won the match. Kansas City, the winning soccer team in this match, did not take one shot on goal.
Okay.
Now, before you say, oh, it must have been a forfeit, it was not a forfeit.
Okay.
There was no forfeit involved. Kansas City, in the Major League Soccer organization, they defeated the LA Galaxy 1-0 without a single shot on. They did not take one shot. They didn't miss. They didn't make anything toward the goal they're trying to win. Because, have you figured it out yet, Casey?
I do have a feeling I know where the answer is.
Give me an idea of what you think happened.
Well, I'm guessing you're about to tell me there was an own goal situation.
There was an own goal situation. So LA at one point was trying to clear the ball. I guess the soccer ball was near the goal that Kansas City was trying to score, right?
Sure.
Near LA's goal. Well, they tried to, I guess, cross. Is that the right phrase?
That is correct.
They tried to cross the ball, did LA, to get it to the other side and then get it the hell away from the goal. Well, it accidentally hit one of their own players and it went in the net.
That's not good. That is not what you want.
So I think this is like the first time ever this has happened. Kansas City gets the win, 1-0. They get 3 points in the standings, and they in 90 freaking minutes they never took a shot. Casey.
Yeah, it's bad. Help
me, Casey. Help me, brother.
It's a heck of a win. I mean, you gotta. I'm not sure what the post match speech was from the coach, but I mean, that's one way to survive. You play some defense, get out of there with the win. Better than a draw.
Hey, Casey. Hey, the coach. Hey, we hope to do that a couple more times this year.
I mean, yeah.
What in the world?
Listen, if you can win a match without playing any offense, I mean, you got to sign up for that more times than not. But
God almighty, maybe they're the best defensive team in the right?
Probably
maybe
not
they're the best defensive team in the world.
I guess we'll see if it happens again.
Oh my God, Casey! You have to admit, you have to understand. When I was reading this story, I could not wait to write that on the top of this paper right here.
Sure.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a bad
Casey, 90 minutes, and nobody on the winning team kicked the ball toward the goal they were supposed to score in. But they won 1-0.
That one's hard to, but that's rough. I mean, and on the flip side of that, if you're an LA Galaxy player outside of the guy who put it in his own net, you got to feel like we dominated this game outside of that one major gaffe earlier in the night.
Now, who do you blame? Do you blame the guy for the Galaxy that kicked it to try and clear it across the face of the goal? Or do you blame the guy that said, pay attention, man, the ball hit you and went in? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
you
definitely got to blame whoever it hit, because assuming that the guy's trying to make a play, they're trying to go a certain direction. It's definitely on that guy. I'm looking at the box score. LA Galaxy had 11 shots. So,
oh my God.
I mean, 78 or 72% possession. I mean, they dominated the game outside of that one slight problem where they put it in their own net.
Now, Casey, I got to ask you this question.
Sure.
If you are the goalie for LA, you actually get charged for a loss, right? And a goal given up. How bad is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to swallow. Definitely not. I mean, you're definitely in the locker room after the game asking some questions about what's going on in front of you. Yeah, that is an unfortunate way to give up a goal.
Oh Brutal. My goodness gracious. Anyway, just picking a little bit here. Oh my! I know I'm not the only broadcaster in the country that is picking at soccer and using this today. Going, hey, did you see? Was that this weekend? I guess. What is today? Tuesday? Maybe that was this weekend. Or
it was.
Yesterday?
It was on Sunday.
And so was it televised?
It would have been on. It would not have been national. It was on Apple. Apple Plus. That's where the MLS is. But it was not a national.
Chase, could you imagine if you were a guy Sunday? Maybe it's wherever you're at in the country this past weekend, and maybe it's raining out, and you've done your chores, and it's the weekend, and maybe you took your Sunday shower and put your lounging clothes on and say, hey, I'm just gonna watch some ball. I'm gonna watch some sport. Imagine you dialed up the old remote and you see this. I'm gonna watch this. You know what? I'm gonna watch this soccer match.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough
and
watch.
You dial in for 90 minutes now. That's an hour and a half plus. What do they have? 2 breaks, right? They play
just 40, 45, and then 45.
45.
Yep.
45. So you dial in for 45. They take a break. You dial it, and you go, yeah, watch this match. And the team that won never, ever, ever, ever did anything offensive.
Not a thing.
How many shots did they take? Did they take no shots?
None. 0.
Holy cow! The winning team did not. Oh,
0.
Oh, boy.
11 for LA. And by the way, I should remind you, or not remind you because you don't know, but I should tell you that the LA Galaxy are one of 2 teams in the MLS that have still not won this season. So
You know what? It's so. Thank you so much. You're way ahead of me. I was about to say, are either of these teams any good, or is one good, one
No.
bad? Is KC good?
no, they are not. They are also at the bottom of
LA's
the table, but LA's the worst.
They
They are the
And
worst.
that's kind of odd because they're a West Coast team, and Seattle soccer, Portland soccer is really good, right? That's odd.
Yeah,
LA's
I mean,
terrible.
LA Galaxy is actually, if you will, one of the legacy teams in MLS because a lot of the big name players that have played in the MLS have played for the LA Galaxy because of the LA tie.
I got you.
But
And
they've
again, I don't
been
know
bad.
much about soccer, but I do know that of the and I'm being serious here, and I'm not picking at all, I promise. I do know there are 3 or 4 really hot spots of soccer in our country. Seattle
Mhm.
and Portland are big, right? I mean,
Yes.
and that's West Coast. Wouldn't you think LA would be good also?
They used to
That's
be.
odd.
They've had some ownership issues and money spending issue. They still attract good players. They've had injury issues, but what really killed them, in my opinion, was they added a second LA team. There's now LAFC, and LAFC has attracted like the really big names, like Olivier Giroud's with them right now. He's a France legend, and they've had others. So they kind of took the spotlight over LA Galaxy, and now LA Galaxy is winless on the season. They have a grand total of 3 points with a negative
Well,
13 goal differential.
I mean, if LA's winless, I mean, I want to feel sorry for them, but I want to say, quit scoring goals for the other team, my man.
I mean, yeah, that
Right?
would certainly help if you just didn't do that.
All right, as we break, I've got an idea. I'm an idea guy. Actually,
Sure.
Patrick and I we're looking for a Shark Tank idea. I don't know if this is one, but I've got an idea.
Okay.
How about, as we go to break, how about the WNBA,
Okay.
the MLS,
Sure.
and the UFL? Why don't they just merge and just play one game on Saturday, 1-3 type, just somehow amalgamate them, right? It's just kind of one game. Should they just merge? Casey, bad idea? Good idea? No?
I mean, it would certainly
merge.
be intriguing. I'm not sure how you see the roster shaking out, but it's an
I
idea.
don't know, and I'm not sure the rules of the game either. But can't you just kind of throw a soccer ball, a basketball, and a football on the field, and just let them just kind of figure it out, and right? Because they're all struggling, right?
Yeah,
Merge.
there's definitely a certain amount of struggle with each.
I know you're mad at me for picking at soccer.
Oh no, I get
did
it.
you play
Listen, I get it.
Did you play soccer in high school?
No, definitely not.
No. But okay. All right, let's go to break here. Got a lot to get into. Casey, did you hear Nick Saban, of all people, got dressed down? Nick Saban's a pretty big boy. He got
That's what I
dressed
hear.
down pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that. We'll get into that. Paul Skeen's on the mound today. How's the 20-year-old fall victim doing in Pittsburgh? And what a tragic situation over in Europe in a motorcycle race. They didn't make one lap, and things got really bad. We'll talk about all those and a lot more. It is a Tuesday edition of the Young and Norvelle Show, continuing here from Hurricane Jointed Creek.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, Visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Okay, here we go. Back on a Tuesday. You know if it's Tuesday, the Young and Norvelle Show set up live and in color right here at Hurricane Jointed Creek. We have a big time. I want to thank everybody, Cassie and Josh and everybody that rolls out the red carpet. Logan, everybody that treat us so well every single Tuesday that we're here bringing you the Young and Norvelle Show live on location here. We've got Trenton Torsia loaded up. I want to get to, and Casey, I don't know if you've seen this. You know, I want to get this out real quick before we talk some baseball with our buddy Trenton Torsia, high school, college, and Major League Baseball. But, you know, the lawsuit is going on. The judge is hearing the college pay for play and trying to set the roster limits and things like that. And Nick Saban obviously is in the middle of this. He's an advocate for college football, certainly, with his history. He recently met with President Trump. President Trump was in Alabama giving a speech, and they also had a meeting, Trump and Saban, kind of talking about NIL, and President Trump has talked about, well, maybe he needs to get involved and to put some clarity, some organization around NIL. Maybe an executive order is in play here. So one of the attorneys on the other side, and you know this judge is looking at things and gonna rule. One of the attorneys is asking several questions, and you know Nick Saban, where he's at in his career and his profession and his age, he doesn't get dressed down very often. But here's the attorney Berman also criticized Nick Saban after reports emerged that the retired Alabama football coach was urging President Donald Trump to undo damage he says has been caused by all of the money flowing into college sports. And I'm going to say it again. Caused by all of the money flowing into college sports. The Wall Street Journal reported Trump is considering an executive order that would call for some sort of structure behind NIL compensation, now going toward players who are now able to move more freely between schools. The attorney on the other side of this, Berman, said he believed an executive order would be subject to lawsuits, quote, like there are against so many other orders, end quote. And he goes on to quote again. But here, the question is, why does the president need to get involved, Berman said, while outlining the financial gains players have made in the NIL era. Okay, so let's go on. The quote continues, just because, and get this, just because Nick Saban thinks he knows better and resents change, this is a coach who made more money off of college football than any other coach did. The coach did absolutely nothing to make it right for those student athletes. Why should he drive the president's thinking?
Dang.
Casey, that's a pretty good. Well, wait a minute, Mr. Big Bad Nick Saban. While you were making $11 million a year and your players weren't making a dime, why weren't you protesting then? My man. So
True.
Isn't that ironic?
Yeah, listen, I think that's a tough line for someone to say to Nick Saban, but I mean it's not incorrect. I mean, and I think that's a big part of this NIL thing. But I think the judge or attorney, whoever you said, I think he's onto something there a little bit.
Yeah, so Saban is an advocate of, well, wait a minute, we can't, and I kind of agree with part of Saban. I'm a big NIL portal guy, okay, but I kind of, it does need to be reined in. The NFL has rules and regulations on income, right? A team has to tell you when you're a player in the NFL, you're coming into a private organization. And private organizations can run private organizations the way they want. But Saban, this article goes on to say, Saban, who made more than $11 million in his last year at Alabama. By the way, that was the most at the time, and who some have said should become the commissioner of college football, a position that doesn't exist, has said he isn't completely against players making money, but he may not be the guy that knocked down $11 million a year on the sweat and backs of his players. He might not be the guy that needs to be saying this, Casey.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that. He's probably not or shouldn't be the guy in that role because I think one, for a lot of reasons, but I do think that's my biggest thing with NIL is if you're going to let coaches be paid like that, then
absolutely.
If there's some rule that you got to put in place, that's fine. But people lose money in the stock market every day for paying money to something that they think is going to be good that turns out is not. How is that any different than NIL?
I go on to say, but Saban has argued for rules and laws to keep things from looking like the pay-for-play model that the NCAA hopes to avoid, but that is often what NIL payments look like. Well, yes, it's what NIL payments look like because it is pay-for-play because it is professional football now, Nick Saban. I'm sorry. What do I always say? You can't be kind of pregnant. These guys can't be sort of pro players and still keep the win one for the Gipper, college, state U. No, it's either you're either pregnant or you're not pregnant, my man, Nick. I'm sorry.
Agreed.
I don't know. It's very unique to see a guy as powerful as Nick Saban dressed down in public. And that was the attorney on the other side. The judge said basically the same thing. Claudia, Wilkin, I think her name is, she's hearing this case. There's a female judge hearing this case, and she basically said the same thing. Hey, before Mr. Nick Saban starts being holier than thou, we need to remember he made more money off the sweat equity of his players who weren't than anybody in the history at that moment in college football and college athletics, because football gets paid more than anybody. It was interesting. It was really, really interesting. With that, let's switch up a little bit and talk some hardball, some baseball. We're in baseball season. I think we've got my buddy Trenton Torchia. You hear him on this show a lot. Trent, you there, buddy? How you doing?
I'm here. You got me?
Hey, man, you sound wonderful as always. Where are you at? I think you're at a high school baseball park right now. Where you at, man?
St. John's Country Day.
Oh, boy. Nobody gets out there alive.
No. We'll see what happens.
What do you got?
One last crack at it.
So you've got University Christian at St. John's Country Day tonight. Is this the best of three, the third game?
This is game 2, actually.
Game 2. So UC.
So game 1,
tonight.
we saw the UC must win. We got our guy going, and saw a guy by the name of Brady Harris last night, who's pretty darn good. I'm sure you've heard of him.
I have.
He'll be attending Florida State if he doesn't. He's projected to be a potentially pretty high draft pick.
Yeah. You think he ever sees Tallahassee?
I do, because of kind of what you were just talking about there.
Yeah.
He can, depending on where he would fall, why not get? I mean, the baseball NIL's gotten out of control in college anyway. Yeah. But I mean, I think he would. I mean, they're doing good things in Tallahassee right now. It'd be great to be part of.
Yeah, and you make a good point. Nowadays, if you're going to get drafted in June and you say, I want to start making money and I want to start working on my professional career, but you get drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays and they start paying you money and they want to send you to Bellevue, Washington, and then maybe to Minot, Minnesota, right? Or you can, or you say, okay, that's 2 years. Or you say, wait a minute, I can make comparable money, work on my craft at a high level, because D1 baseball is now a high level. Some say it is high A ball. Or I can go to Tallahassee, Florida, play in the ACC, bus rides in and around the Southeast, a couple of plane rides, and still make money while developing. Why not wait a couple of years and then jump in at the high AA level of pro ball, right?
That's what they're doing. And may I remind you, I have those minor league bus ride personal experiences.
Yeah.
And
it ain't pretty.
It's fun to say, yeah, we're doing it because this is what we're doing, but it's not a ton of fun. I can tell you that much.
No, I know.
Everybody's going to have a number.
Yeah.
And it just depends on what the number is. And there are still kids, young men, that have nothing but a dream to go play college baseball at their program. And some of it's generational. Some of it's just admiration for the program. It's a great time. And if you could do both, that's the double whammy right there.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Trent, if you can, give us a quick second. Our baseball guy, Trenton Torchia, at a high school park tonight. You've got St. John's Country Day and University Christian. Could be an elimination game. It's right, or no? I guess UC has to win, right?
It's a must win. So it's a win or go home. The if game would be Thursday, and then Bozeman out of Panama City, I believe.
Yeah.
Lost to Trinity last night at Trinity. Their game 2 will be tonight as well. Yeah. If you recall, a couple weeks ago, you asked me if I could wink pick one team that might make a run, and Trinity was my choice objectively.
Okay. So if I've got this correct, and please correct me if I don't, in our area, let's just call it Duval County, and we stretch it, obviously. I get it. Our county, we grab the Menendezes and we grab St. John's County. I get it. But in our county right now, am I correct? There are 2 games tonight that one of 3 of our area teams, either UC keeps it alive, either St. John's Country Day closes out UC, and if Trinity wins to close it out, that's our 3 area baseball teams still alive. Is that correct, or am I way off on this?
And there is one additional, and it's Clay High, and they kind of fit into that same metro area.
Yeah, we claim Clay. Yeah, absolutely we do. Sure.
Yep. Yeah, so Clay lost 2-0 last night, so they're in the winner go home game, and I can't recall who they were playing, but they're on the road.
Do you understand? Oh, they're on the road, so they're probably not the favorite, and their backs against the wall, I guess, Clay.
Yeah, so really, when you take a look at the rankings there toward the end of the year, it all fell out how it was supposed to be, which,
okay,
that doesn't always happen. If you take a St. Joe's Academy out of St. Augustine,
okay,
beats University Christian in the district championship game, but University Christian ends up ranked 2nd in the region above St. Joe's, who's ranked 3rd.
Okay.
Those 2 teams went at it last week and went 3 games.
Ooh.
In a series that it was they were all lopsided games, which is kind of strange. It was 8-2, 14-2, 11-0.
Oh my!
Crazy.
Wow, you rarely see that kind of, the third game of a 3-game set. Okay, somebody just mails it in, and they see their season ending. But boy, you don't see that very often. Those scores, do you?
No, not when you get to teams like that, because generally you've got the pitching but what ends up happening is this is the first year that the state of Florida has gone with a 3-game series in regional play.
Yes.
Now they've been doing it in Georgia for years.
Yeah.
So coaches are still trying to figure out, for example, if you're facing a dude like a Brady Harris in game 1,
yeah,
are you throwing your dude versus their dude?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you, I'm not saying you're conceding the game, but I think strategically you have to look at
it might
what
be a
makes
smart
the
move
most
to hold
sense.
your guy. Yeah, it may be a smart move to hold your guy.
And from what I saw in person, the guy's the real deal.
Yeah, but I don't know if you heard me, but you're so right. In a situation where 2 out of 3, if your opponent has a really dude, a dude, do you hold your ace and say, well, we don't want to concede, but I'd rather have my guy go in game 2 and live to see game 3? It's a tough call. You also don't want to do that and paralyze your own team. Well, I guess coach doesn't think we're very good, right?
It's a slippery slope for sure.
It really is.
But it depends on if you think your guy's a dude versus their dude. It really is.
Yeah.
I can remember back in the day, and the legendary Skip Bertman.
Oh, sure.
If when he was at LSU, and he went public with this, he said if we're facing a game 1 guy like a Jeff Brantley, this is a real story. He goes,
sure,
I'm not throwing my guy against Brantley. I'm basically giving them that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm going to go win the next 2.
Yeah.
So that's one thought process. I think players at a collegiate level probably understand
a little more
the strategic piece of that better than high school kids will.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know what the right answer is.
It's tough. Well, Trent, that leads me into another thought that I want you to answer, and this may not be answerable. You mentioned we are in year 1 of the 2 of 3 playoff in high school baseball in our area. in our state. Used to be just, hey, you knocked heads, and if you can knock them off, you move on. It's 2 of 3 now. And I know there are a couple of series still open. Is it too early to tell? Your probably answer is probably yes, it's too early to tell. We haven't digested. But can you tell, is this going to be a better system to move on a team than just a one-game winner-take-all? Is it hard to tell until we get everything, in all the hay in the barn, if you know what I mean?
It's not hard to tell. I
What do you
think it's
think?
a great idea. I think it was years overdue. And because here's the thing, if you got you got your dude, we're referencing the dude, you have him, you got to win one game and then you play the next week. You can run that guy back the next week. So you could end up at the Final Four with one guy.
Yeah.
And that's just not right. You've got to be able to, if you're going to make it to the Final Four, you've got to be able to show depth on the mound, and part of it is staying healthy too. I mean, there are a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
With all of these teams that so you have to have depth on your team as well. But what these teams do is they go into some of these preseason tournaments and play some big dogs early.
Yeah.
Kind of like they do in college to see, hey, let's do a little litmus test here to see where we pan out, against top-notch competition outside of our state.
Yeah.
Or even down south.
So you think, if I'm hearing you right, Trenton Torsia, you think the state decision makers are going to say, hey, this is the way to do it. We may have been doing it wrong, but let's go ahead and do 2 out of 3. The better team will win 2 out of 3 instead of it'll take, I guess, the 1-star / fluke game out of it, right?
Yes. Now, everybody may not agree with it, but
yeah.
I think it's fantastic. I mean, we ask Georgia coaches all the time, do you see them in the summer and whatnot, during summer ball and that sort of stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, we've been doing this as long as any of us can remember.
Yeah.
And it shows you what you truly are as a team.
Yeah.
And there's no doubting, you're not going to, because you know how baseball is. You played a long time. And
yeah,
you could have one guy go out and just have the game of his life. And all of a sudden
yeah.
you beat a team that's miles better than you.
Yeah.
In a, one of those one-punch boxing matches where you go, boy.
And Trent, I want to be fair here. That can also happen at the plate. In a one-game winner-take-all, I won't name any names. I know when I was in high school here in Jacksonville, it was one-game-take-all, and you'd play one side of the river, would play the other side of the river, and then you'd go to sectionals and blah, blah, blah. I won't name a name. There was a great pitcher, and you'll figure him out when I say this, that was the 13th player in the first round in our high school draft, Major League Baseball draft. 13th overall player. I mean, 12 guys in the country were drafted before this guy. He was a great player, made it to the big leagues. He was playing a postseason game against his rival school here in Jacksonville. Won't name any names. And a guy came up to bat, and the bases happened to be loaded. Might have been an error, might have been a chink hit, right? The bases were loaded. And the guy, and I won't name his name, he's a nice guy. I've known him in town. He was an average baseball player, right? He was lucky to be on the high school team, didn't play a lot. But the game went late, and Trent, he got called to pinch hit. And he stepped in the box, and he ran into one. Trent, he ran into one that turned into a grand slam, and it won the game. And I get it, that counts.
Wow.
But I mean, did the best team win, or did lightning strike? Versus 2 out of 3, the best team's going to win, right? Probably in baseball.
It should win, yes. I mean, that's why when you look, at the big league level, these things, super regionals in college are best of 3, and then when you get into the playoffs in the major leagues, it's the same thing. This is why we play the series.
Yeah, definitely.
Same as the NBA. I mean, all of that. They're saying the better team should win.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get, and people say, what about football? Well, I get football's a different animal. Football is a once a week sport. It's a physical sport that you can't play 2 games in 4 days. You just can't. I get that. So throw football out of this. Trent, let's switch to college baseball real quick. I know you need to get to the ballpark. You're probably at the ballpark now. You got a game coming up. SEC baseball has never been better. How about Arkansas goes out and sweeps Texas, for God's sakes?
That put them right back in it. You know, they've got 40 wins this year, and Texas has 38.
Yeah.
So Arky's had a year like they always do. It seems like we're always talking about them this time of year. But they dropped out of the national seedings.
Yeah.
And this is starting to become ultra important. And I'll also reference, and then I'll get back to that in a minute, Florida State taking 2 out of 3 from Clemson.
Big
got
series.
Clemson to number 9, which takes them out of a national seed and move Florida State up to number 2. So this is where you start jockeying for position, RPI, strength of schedule. If you go and sweep the consensus number 1 team in the country, it's quite the statement.
And I told you, Florida, by the way, Florida benefited by Arkansas sweeping Texas because Florida's got a win over Arkansas in a series. I watched Arkansas 2 weeks ago in Gainesville. They are good. Arkansas, we say it every year, they're really, really good. Hey, I also watched a lot of that FSU Clemson series. The third game got away. The Seminoles roughed them up in the third game. Hey, those first 2 games, FSU Clemson, those were some big boys going at it. That was a hell of a series in the ACC.
And that's what you expected out of it. I mean, you got your money's worth for sure. Woo. And you and I have been talking about this for years. That Sunday game, you're scrambling to find a starter. Maybe, sometimes you use your Sunday starter in relief on Friday or Saturday to, scratch out a win. And really the goal every weekend is take 2 out of 3. That
Absolutely.
Third game to
Absolutely. And
that was a.
And Trent, not to cut you off, we had crazy weather all over the South too. You really didn't know, was your one going to get burnt Friday night in 45 minutes? Do you run your 2 out? Do you hold your 2 for? But man, FSU and Clemson went at it. It was a fun first 2 games. Trent, your school, Mississippi State, they fired their coach a week ago. The interim now steps in. He's going to finish out the season as an interim head coach. Mississippi State's on a heater now. They sweep. What are your thoughts on Mississippi State and how, Trent, you've been around. I've been around a long time. You got to be really careful when a team goes through a coaching change mid-season and an interim gets named and they play well under the interim. It's so easy to hand that guy the job, but sometimes it's emotion. What the hell's going on at Mississippi State? Nice weekend though for the Bulldogs.
No, I mean it's a really good question, and I've got my finger pretty close to the pulse. And what's coming out of Starkville is the players are the players. That hasn't changed. Yeah. Because statistically, they're up there. They're batting over 300 as a team. Their ERA is like under 4.5. So they're up there in a lot of the key categories, but they're having fun and they're playing relaxed. Yeah. And I think that was the biggest key. And I know Lamonis personally, and I have a hard time believing that he was that hard-nosed, old-school coach.
Yeah.
But you don't know what goes on behind the closed doors.
Yeah.
And that, to me, from what they're saying, has been the biggest difference. And, they swept a scrappy, good Kentucky team. I mean, Kentucky's had a nice season. And they run-ruled them twice. So, I mean, they put it to them.
How about that?
And then won one of the games. They run-ruled them once and beat them in extras. So they did it every which way you can.
And keep in mind, hey, Trent, keep in mind, up until last week, Texas was 19-2. Kentucky had one of the wins over Texas.
Yeah, I mean, because they can beat you in different ways. They're not going to hit the long ball, but they run the bases. They play small ball, and they're just scrappy at bats. But it's a wonderful story. If they go on to win the national championship, which I don't see happening, you're not hiring that guy. You got to go get a home run hire. Now, some of the names coming up are kind of out there.
Who are they?
But, well, who do you think? The usual suspects. Vitello, back up the truck, and it's like, I don't see that happening. And one of the key factors in the athletics departments of all conferences, all Power Fours, is Mississippi State has one of the lower NIL budgets in the conference.
Sure.
So Tennessee's is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, that 7'9" guy turned down $3.5 million in hoops from Tennessee to go to Florida. So what the heck's Florida doing? I mean, start looking at that stuff.
Hey, by the way, can I stop you for a moment? If you've got another 10 minutes, we're going to take this a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm good.
Can I stop you for a quick second? Did you see, and I love Tony Vitello, the Tennessee baseball coach. I think I would love to play for him. They're you can, a lot of people curse him, but I think if he was my coach, I would love him. Did you see, he got ran out of the game over the weekend, right? He's arguing, and the home plate up, Trent, I hope you saw this. The home plate umpire.
I several times.
And it was in Knoxville. He gets run out of the game. Auburn won 2 out of 3 over Tennessee. He gets run, and before he leaves the field, he goes out and tells the third base. He already told the home plate umpire what he thought about him. He tells the third base umpire. He walks over to the second base umpire, and he walks over to the first base umpire and tells them all where they can go, and then he leaves the field. It was
every one of them.
He told them all where they could go, and then he left. It was classic.
And I watched that for at least 10 times, just over and over. And it's only a 45-second clip, but I know you're the kind of player that Vitello is coach, and I would have beamed you both.
Yes, and that's fine.
I would take him as a coach
in a heartbeat,
but as an opponent, no way.
Trent Torchia talking some.
His name has come up. Mingione's name, the Kentucky guy, had come up, but I don't think that's.
I hear Patrick Young. I didn't even know he was here.
There he is.
Patrick Young.
I thought you guys were going to finish at 5, so I was going to let you just finish, but we got an extra 10, so your boy in here. What's up?
Hey, what do you know about baseball, Patrick? This ain't round ball. This is baseball, man. Baseball.
I'll play. You said a round ball or brown ball?
This ain't round ball. This baseball, man. You don't
know. This is round ball. This is round ball.
It's a little round
ball. I played up until I was 17, man. So I'm obviously I didn't follow as much as I did basketball afterwards, but I understand what you guys are talking about. I'm picking it up.
Let me throw this to Trent. Trent, a moment ago, I want to throw a couple words and talk Gator baseball right now. You said the word fun, you said the word relaxed, and I'm going to throw in next man up. Boy, it feels like Florida. They've had a bunch of injuries. They've banded together. The Gators are having fun on the baseball field.
Are you saying the boys are back in town?
I think the boys and Trent.
The boys are back in town.
I agree, Pat. It looks like Florida is playing that. You know what? We've got some injuries. It's next man up, man. It's impressive what Florida's done the last 3 or 4 series.
What do you call it, Johnny Holstaff?
Johnny Holstaff, yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Holstaff. They're on a serious heater. I looked at this today because I thought it would come up. And their overall, and I understand it's late in the season, stat lines aren't going to change a whole lot, but their team stat lines are about where they were when we talked about this like 3 weeks ago. So they're just finding different ways to win.
Yep.
The pitching's hanging in there. Remember, their Achilles heel was the bullpen. And once you got in the bullpen, it was a hot mess.
Yeah.
But they've figured that out a little bit.
They have figured it out a little bit.
If Sully has relaxed any? That's what I'd love to know.
Yeah.
Because
Playing
I can
good
tell you
ball.
right now, no way that guy's easy to play for when he's turning the heat up. It can't be.
You would think he can crawl your what, right? You would think Sully.
Yeah. He looks like a guy that really gets up in you, man. I'm not going to lie, for sure.
Hey, when Florida's up 10-2 and they cut a shot to the dugout, he looks tough. Much less if they're down 5-0. He looks tough, man.
I can't lie to you, man. If I'm a pitcher,
arm wrestle.
Oh yeah. If I'm a pitcher and he's got that beeline, calm walk coming towards me.
Oh,
I know the first words coming out of his mouth are not calm.
No, give me the ball.
That walk is with a purpose, no doubt.
Yeah. It's give me the ball.
Have you guys ever seen? It's a compilation of this coach. He's like I don't know, middle school travel ball type league type school, whatever team. And he'll walk over there. He's like, hey, so that sucked. You're like, hey, did your dad teach you how to do that? Don't do that again. Like, he's just getting into these kids.
Patrick, is that real or is that dubbed over? That's hilarious. I've seen it.
I'm gonna find it and send it so we got to play that on the show. We have to.
Is it dubbed? Because I don't know if you've seen it, Trent, what Patrick's talking about. There's a Little League coach. He goes to the mound, and he goes a bunch of times. And I don't know, they can do audio videos so good now. But he goes out to the mound. He's talking to like a 9-year-old. Hey, man, are you trying to throw strikes? Hey, man, what are you doing? Your mom's watching, right? It is hilarious.
He's like, hey, I know your old team used to let you, do that, but over here we don't suck. So,
Trent, I don't know if you've ever seen it. I don't know if it's overdubbed, but it is hilarious.
I need to see it.
Found it.
Hey, we've got how about Florida? They're sitting on 10 wins now. They're closing in on a bid. Florida at Texas Saturday, Trent. Texas a little bit vulnerable right now. They've got a starting pitcher out for the year. Gators are playing good ball, man. I can't wait for the series starting on Friday.
It's a big series for Florida. I saw something on X that said, of these three teams, which would you not want to play right now? It was Florida, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State.
Ooh.
And if you look at remember we talked about A&M, they have climbed the ladder, and they've got 11 SEC wins. And I don't know. The league's starting to tighten up. The RPIs are coming down. So, I don't know that you're going to need a 500 record in the conference to get a bid. It's got to be pretty close. And then the one thing that we got to talk about, the elephant in the room, is Missouri.
Oh, my. 0-24.
Oh, yeah. God darn it.
I don't think it's ever happened.
Trey, have you ever seen it? Has it ever happened? Yeah.
I don't think so. I've never seen it. I mean, you at least. Here's my fear.
They're worse than the White Sox. They're worse
series
than the White Sox.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. They played Mississippi State in the last series of the season, and that that has my heart racing.
Yeah, I've got this for you guys. Missouri right now, as we sit, they are 0-24 in the SEC. You play 30 regular season games. Missouri is at A&M this weekend, and then they close hosting Mississippi State.
Ball five.
So you gotta love that crowd. That crowd is great. But Missouri is really looking hard at going 0-30 heading into the conference tournament. That's tough, man. Hey, I don't know
everybody.
And I probably speak for Patrick and Trent. I speak for you too. You can correct me. I know I played a lot of football, I played a lot of baseball, and I played a lot of basketball. I never played on a terrible. That must not be any fun, man. That's got to be brutal, man. 0-24.
They have 13 wins all year, so they're not even winning non-conference games. And
that's tough.
I don't know how you get to that point because it wasn't that long ago they were serviceable.
Yes.
But boy, I tell you that's going to be a hard job to sell too.
And Trent, I'll throw this to Patrick because he'll remember off the top of his head because he's referenced it. Patrick, it was only a year or two ago. Missouri basketball did what?
0-18.
Trent.
0-18.
Just like he said, Missouri 2 years ago, Missouri basketball in basketball, you play 18 games. They were 0-18, and now they're looking at 0-30 in baseball. Trent, that's tough.
They'll probably be the first team if this does happen. The first team ever to have an offer in 2 sports.
Now I have to admit,
within a year, something like that.
Missouri came back last year.
Even 18's a lot of games.
Yeah, but they were tough in basketball.
18 is a lot of games,
right? They were tough in basketball last year.
They fought. They had some games. They had some games where you're like, okay, they're going to get it.
Hey, they beat the national champions last year in basketball. They beat Florida in basketball.
They're the first team to go over in a conference. Like it's not. It's rare that a team goes over in a conference, but to come back the next season and get 10 wins in conference, first team to ever do that basketball.
How about that? Yeah, they literally beat Florida this year in Gainesville, and Florida won the basketball national title, so it can happen. I will say this. I'm a sickie when it comes to college baseball. When I'm around, I'll watch it, particularly the Gators. I watched Florida and Missouri this year 3-4 weeks ago, and Missouri was struggling. Florida swept them, obviously. They did a lot of highlights on their coach. I kind of like their coach. He's got a good attitude. I hope he can survive this. I don't know his name, but he's a baseball guy. He's a baseball guy, and can't be easy on him. By the way, Missouri's probably – and Trent, I want you to speak to this first. In terms of geographic, where the baseball players are at, okay, where the baseball players are at that you're trying to sign and recruit, Missouri's probably in the worst geographical location in the SEC, right? I mean, they're way up. They're the highest, Midwesternest, right? Trent, would you agree with that? They're in a bad spot for baseball talent.
Definitely in the SEC. And then if you start leaking into kind of the Midwest, and you can look at, well, I mean, Oklahoma I get now is SEC, but you got Oklahoma State, and you got like there's a lot of schools out there that are, where would you go? And you're pretty close to like a St. Louis, some major markets. So I don't know what's going on unless if you're going to play in the SEC, is that the last choice you have? Like, and maybe that's the case, but you've got, that is hard to repair. And by the way, it's hard to keep your guy unless it's like his first year or something, which I don't think
it's hard to keep.
It's really hard
to keep your guy after that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. Even if they develop somebody, all of a sudden he's playing for Tennessee next year or Florida next year, right? That's
exactly what's going to happen. First thing they're going to do is they're going to go look at their, well, I don't know if they're looking at their weekend starters because they're not winning any games, but they're looking at something. They may have one hitter in the lineup that somebody covets for next year, and you definitely don't want to be an SEC team that's an SEC feeder team.
No,
man, I can't. Do you think this is going to happen, guys? How far away are we from this team? Like, this is a similar. Let's compare them to like the Pirates, for example.
Yeah, sure.
Paul Skeens, not a very good team. Obviously, they're not over. They're going to trade him away and get a bunch for him at some point, right?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great?
He says he's a
Missouri.
He says he's a Pirate for life.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, for him, so Missouri obviously is going to have someone's going to want, right? This guy's going to want to transfer out. Wouldn't it be nice if you could transfer out that really, really good player and get 3 or 2 okay players better?
Yeah.
And
we may be there one day.
Just to rebuild. I mean,
to rebuild. Yeah, man.
and we
to
may
try
be
and be
there.
competitive the next year.
We may be there one day, and I would be fine with that. It's pro sports, man. We may be there one day.
How far away are we from we want to say the Nico and the other quarterback hit? That wasn't. I'm talking about a trade.
Yeah, that was
straight trade.
That was a unique situation, not necessarily a trade. Yeah, good point. All right, Trent, we'll let you go, man. You're at UC. You're at St. John's Country Day. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And
so we got four local teams going tonight, two against each other, and
one with an out of town.
Pretty good showing for Jacksonville metro area.
Who would be who's the odds-on favorite to get deep? Trinity. I guess Trinity's got the best lineup.
It's got to be Trinity. It's got to be Trinity.
They got to bit. They've got they have 9 D1 commits.
Okay,
don't they have? And five of them are going to Florida. Or 4 of them are going to committed to Florida.
Well, a lot of them are. They're. I saw their dude, and I believe he's going to Florida, and he's extremely legit.
Wow.
Isn't he? Don't they have a guy that's the number one? He's the number one player in the country, don't they? Or top 5?
It's the shortstop.
At least.
The shortstop who's going to Florida as well.
I heard Trent, he got offered $2 million. $2 million to go to Tennessee.
Wow.
And he's going to turn. He might turn it. He might just go and go get drafted and get that money. Who knows?
So Trent,
he might get $10 million in the draft.
Wow. Are you Trent? Did you just say that Trinity has 9 Division I players on their roster? Did you say that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that said, can't you go get the home ec teacher and say, "Hey, I want you to be the baseball coach"? Right? I mean, if you got 9 D1 players, just go get the home ec teacher and let her coach baseball.
Well, think about it this way: you got a lot of alpha dogs that you got to corral and get to buy in.
Yeah.
And
I guess
support each other and root for the other guy. I mean,
I'll take my chances.
That's why I think coaching doesn't get enough credit.
I'm with you.
How do you get these guys to stay locked in? You need a coach. A coach needs to get you to stay on task. I would say that's the best. Yeah. A coach needs to get these players. What's the next thing? And I don't think a coach should have to be a motivator, but maybe when we're talking about high school, maybe so. But I agree with you, Trent. I don't think the coaching, especially in baseball, gets enough because it's not, maybe you say play-by-play is just so different from basketball and football that it's a lot harder to see the things that the coaches are doing or pulling or thinking about. But nowadays, with coaches, changing pitchers so often in games, 6 guys will pitch. Maybe you can point to that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, Trent. So I guess next week, if you are not here, that means you're in the Final Four, maybe. But if you are here, that means things didn't go too good tonight, right? Yes.
That is correct. I'll be sitting next to you, I presume.
Hey, Trenton Torship, our baseball guy, go coach him up tonight, my man. Coach him up.
Coach him up. Let's go, Coach.
All right, guys.
All right, that'll do it. Let's take a break, come back. Pat will stay with us. Pat, want to talk about Todd Golden, got the big contract extension, a bunch of other topics to get to with Patrick Young. It is Terry Norvelle and the Young and Norvelle Show coming to you, of course, from our Tuesday home, Hurricane, Jointon Creek.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
On Mayport. Okay, back we are. What about that, Patrick Young? What about that skyline right there? That's Jack's Vegas.
Woo, that's Jack's Vegas.
That is Jack's Vegas. Back we are. Patrick Young, Terry Norvelle. We're live at Hurricane, our Tuesday home, Hurricane Jointed Creek. Patrick Young, real quick, Todd Golden cashed in a little bit. He deserved it. You win a national title. He's turned his program around in Gator basketball. Big old 6-point-something million a year. He's like the 5th highest paid coach, and he's only been in a major school for 3 years. How about Todd Golden? Good for him.
I know, right?
Good for him.
What's that like? Just a little bit under seven million a year. I texted him today and I said lunch on you forever. And he's like, next time on me for sure, big fella. I've just been so happy for him and his program, especially with all that nonsense that was happening in the beginning of the season. I mean, goodness.
Think about.
So is he like, he's etched in history now, man. Like, I mean, I think, you got to win another at some point in this 6 years. You would love to see another Final Four. You'd love to see at least 2 or 3 regular season championships. To continue on, to stay in that top 10, top 15 rating in these next 6 years. Like, man, that gets you, starts getting you etched up higher on that Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it does. It does. Todd Golden today publicly announced that he has an extension with UF and through 2031 with $6.75 million. The word is a bunch of schools, of course. Why wouldn't you? A bunch of schools and programs were throwing money at him, supposedly in this interim.
Oh, really?
Yeah, supposedly there's talk Tennessee might have thrown a big number at him, and I don't know, North Carolina, somebody. I don't think Florida is going to lose Todd Golden to another college. Florida will lose Todd Golden to the NBA. He's too young to not try the NBA. And frankly, even if he signed, quote unquote, a lifetime contract, those don't really mean lifetime. If a guy like Todd Golden, let's say 2 years from now, he gets a call and his agent, and the Chicago Bulls say, or the Los Angeles Lakers, or the Golden State Warriors, California guy, say, we want you to be our basketball coach. Todd Golden would then just go to the University of Florida and say, I want to go to the NBA. And the University of Florida, you don't ever want to force a guy to stay somewhere. If you don't want to work for me, the last thing I want to do is make you work for me, right? Todd Golden, when he wants to go to the NBA, I don't care what the contract with Florida says, he'll go to the athletic director and say, I want to try the biggest league in the world, the NBA. And he'll go. I don't think Florida will ever lose Todd Golden to Kentucky, Duke, or North Carolina.
No. Well, I don't think, I wish I knew the age of his kids.
Yeah.
Because that would probably, and even when they get to high school,
sure,
maybe you feel a little bit more comfortable taking the leap. But he's young enough. His kids graduate. To take on the opportunity to coach on the highest level.
Yeah,
especially if, say for instance, the Denver Nuggets, which I do like. I know their head coach. He's a good guy, great guy.
Yeah.
But you get an opportunity to coach like Nikola Jokic or some of these superstar athletes. It'd be hard for me to see him not taking that opportunity on. Man.
What if with LeBron's age? What if the Lakers scuffle around for the next 2 years? LeBron's gone. It's total rebuild. And Todd Golden's a West Coast guy, man. He's a West. What if the Los friggin' Angeles Lakers 2 years from now go,
or
Todd Golden, here's a blank.
More realistically, though, Terry, is the Clippers.
Okay.
The Clippers are the more realistic because, Tyronn Lue, he's been their coach for these last few years. They've been okay. The Clippers have lost now in the first round 4 straight years. They're looking into that is, and look, personality wise, temperament wise, I think Todd Golden is a guy that would, I'm not going to say thrive, but the transition for him won't be as difficult as it would be for a Dan Hurley.
Oh
my gosh.
Boy, totally agree.
My gosh, Terry.
Hey, Patrick, that is one of the best things you've ever said here on this show. I totally agree with you. Todd Golden and Todd Golden in L.A. fits like a glove. I don't know if he'd win there, but my God, can't you see
I don't know about all that. Yeah.
Can't you see him in a pair of expensive slacks and a gorgeous pullover and coaching the Lakers or Clippers? Todd Golden, that fits like a glove, doesn't it?
I think him being a West Coast guy, it's got to be one of those teams, Sacramento, Golden State, Lakers, Clippers, because I can't see Todd Golden leaving to go coach Milwaukee.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing.
Or Utah Jazz.
Whoever the star is in 2 years, maybe it's Wemby on the market, but couldn't you see the LA 3 years from now? The Lakers are scuffling around. The whole LeBron thing is gone. The Lakers say, A, we're the frickin' Lakers. B, we want to win. C, we're going to spend the money. And D, Todd Golden, you're the young 42-year-old guy at this point. You're our guy. And if he's going to take that job, that being in quotation marks, he's good. And if you're the Florida Gators, you know what you do? You buy him a ticket and say, thanks for everything you did, man. Thanks for everything you did.
Yep.
There's no lifetime this or buy out that.
I wonder if you're Florida and that happens, do you hire within and go, we're going Todd Golden tree?
Yeah, you wonder. Or do you sit here and say, hey boys, let's keep an eye on this guy named Dusty May at Michigan and hope he keeps winning and maybe not a title, but keep winning, Dusty May, and then come back, because he coached at Florida. But good for Todd Golden, wouldn't you say? Good for Todd Golden.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt, man. I couldn't be happier for him and his family and his career. Because, look, man, yes and no. I wouldn't say he and I, we haven't, sat down and had lunch together where, he and I are just talking one-on-one. But I've been around him,
you've got a cell
dozens
number.
of times.
You got a cell number, laid back guy, realistic guy, cocky guy. What is he? Who is he?
A great combination, a beautiful combination of that, because I think when you've done it for so long and you know your style and you've had success, there should be a little bit level of confidence there.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't realize Todd was one of those coaches that was, pushed to the brink of this transfer portal chaos of man, this is not what I signed up for.
Yeah.
And just so thankful that, he didn't give up, had a great support staff, Bill Koss being a guy that encouraged him to just keep fighting through. And because, people don't get these guys, they're giving everything into this passion, and the transfer portal and NIL has taken away from them being with their families a little bit more, having some balance there. Sometimes even coaches, there's clinics that coaches host all across the country in the off season. Probably don't have much time to go and do that. Todd Golden is a student of the game. He's still, and that's what you want your coach to be. So, just grateful that him and a lot of, you got to be a younger guy nowadays, I think, coming to a big program with the way things are. The amount of travel, the phone calls, the money, all that's keeping your players, trying to keep everybody happy, man. It's tough.
All right, Patrick, going to change sports on you real quick. I've got a pop quiz for Patrick Young. NFL pop quiz. You ready? Pop quiz. Pop quiz time.
Yeah.
And we can throw Casey Kurtz in this if he wants to get involved. Pop quiz.
Casey Kurtz.
Here we go.
Pop quiz.
NFL rookie post-draft jersey sales. Who has sold the most jerseys? Number one choice, Cam Ward. Number two choice, Travis Hunter. Or number 144 or whatever, Shedeur Sanders. Patrick Young, who has sold the most jerseys so far, according to Fanatics?
Shedeur Sanders.
You say Shedeur. Casey Kurtz, if you want to get in. I know you don't like pop quizzes. Any guess on the pop quiz here?
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. So we've got a Shedeur one, a Travis Hunter. Nobody. How about nobody chose Cam Ward, the number one pick in the NFL draft, post-draft? How about this? Congratulations, Patrick Young. Shedeur Sanders jersey, how about this? Has sold more since the draft, and he had a 2-day – the other two jerseys had 2 days head start on him because nobody knew what jersey it was.
Right, good point.
How about that? Shedeur Sanders jersey, according to Fanatics, has way outpaced any other rookie. And he had a 2-day
That's awesome.
handicap. How about Shedeur? I think
That's the best thing.
I think a little bit might be do people feel sorry for him a little bit also?
I think there is a bit of that.
How about that?
A lot of people maybe a lot of people might not believe that he should have gotten shafted the way that he did to go that late. And I'm firm. I don't think he's I don't think he was a first rounder, but I thought second or third round latest.
It is
and
pretty.
He has potential to be. He has the potential to be as good as I don't know. I see him being like Geno Smith.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe, right? I think that's a fairly okay comparison.
I tell you
Geno is a solid with the success that Geno has had as a starter, we would take that here in Jacksonville right now.
Yeah, right now you would.
They've had made long playoff runs or anything like that, but 9-8 record, 10 wins,
Yeah.
He gives his team a chance. They get a chance every game they're in.
Definitely. I'll tell you though, I saw that stat today. Shedeur Sanders wasn't drafted until what, Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. Yeah. You had round 1 Thursday, round 2 Friday, and you guys, I think it was 20 hours of draft coverage. There were There are 20 hours of live coverage, and you guys have to admit, you know how many commercials the draft went to, and they were sending out these advertising, hey, buy your favorite jersey on Fanatics. Cam Ward and Travis Hunter had 2 days head start on Shedeur, and Shedeur still outsold their jerseys. Man, that's impressive, dude. That is impressive.
I know, right? That's awesome.
And that's also the power of Deion. That says a little bit of the power of Deion Sanders and the marketing of Deion in Colorado. How about that? 2 days.
Yeah.
He stayed at the starting line for 2 days and still outsold him.
Man, I read the article, man. They're they got 5 quarterbacks on the roster right now. So I mean, he's gonna have to compete, him and Dylan Gabriel. It is not a lock for them to make the roster.
I know.
Who do they have? They still got Deshaun. They got Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Deshaun Watson, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
I probably just my naked eye, and I watch a lot of college football. To my naked eye, I probably think Dylan Gabriel is a little better raw quarterback than Shedeur. But we'll see. It'll be fun. It'll be a hell of a story to track. July.
And I saw this. This is pretty great. I hope this isn't true. Many teams and Quinn Ewers' agent apparently thought, he was firmly going to go 3rd round pick, 4th round pick. Turns out teams were afraid that his name maybe carried too much weight to be a backup quarterback. Yeah, just think, you draft him. After, he was okay. He was solid. Like, I don't think he's NFL ready to start right now, but, guy starts playing bad, some grumblings. Get Quinn Ewers in there. They wanted to avoid that, so that's what put him so far back in the draft. But it actually, in my opinion, I think it works out.
Yeah.
Look at Tua. You hate to say it, man, but, he has not been on the field consistently for the last 3-4 seasons. There's, I hope he can play a full season, but if he doesn't, I'd like to have a guy like Quinn Ewers ready to step in, because those guys they had to step in last year when, oh my gosh, man, no wonder Tyreek Hill's you think he wants to get traded again.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, Pat, changing subjects real quick. The Pirate fan that jumped out of the stands in a weird way. Did you ever see that video? I didn't want to play it. It was kind of gross.
I saw the video.
Yeah,
I saw the video.
I opted not to play it here, and I asked Casey. He agreed. It's so ugly to see the human body. He's taken a couple steps now in the hospital. They said he has a broken neck, a broken clavicle, and a broken back, for God's sakes. God almighty.
Jeez, man.
It was ugly, though.
He's so fortunate to be alive, and the fact that he can walk a little bit. He is so fortunate.
How weird! Alive. How weird was that, though? It looked like he was ejected out of his seat.
Yeah, have you ever seen those stupid videos where it's pranks? People are able to put car airbags under somebody's couch seat cushion, and they just eject out like crazy. That's kind of what it reminded me of a little bit.
It was weird. It was almost like it was like James Bond hitting the eject button, and ejecting out of his car. Let me ask you, there was another highlight today putting the show together that I opted not to run. Have you guys seen? It was just too ugly. It was too ugly of a fight. Have you guys seen the fight on the concourse between a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, coincidentally a Pirate fan again, the fan that fell out of the stands was a Pirate. This was another game. A Pittsburgh Pirate fan on the concourse at PNC Park gets into an altercation with a usher, and it gets physical. And there's a local TV station that has footage, and I saw it. It was too ugly. They get into a fist fight, and then at one point, and I can't blame the usher, they throw blows, and then the fan backs away and spits on the usher. Okay, as gross as that is. And the usher, Patrick, the usher has, at this point, he's taken his belt off. he starts whipping the fan. And I don't blame him. He starts belt whipping him because he got spit on, for God's sake.
Absolutely.
It was too ugly.
That's so gross.
It is gross, isn't it? It's gross. Oh, but Patrick,
was he like you know how it is when you're getting spanked? Your parents, they're using their offhand, their left hand, they got you by an arm, and they're hitting that leg. They're hitting that leg with that.
And you're going in a circle, and you're just circling around.
And it ain't helping at all.
But let me tell you something. I thought it was too ugly.
How humiliating as a grown man getting a whipping from another grown man.
He belt whipped him. But Patrick, both of those highlights are very visible on the internet. I thought they were both too gross to play. The guy's body hitting the warning track, from 21 feet. It was creepy. And then, you know what? You guys can go watch the usher fighting the fan that I just described. I think the usher was totally in the right. He tried to now the usher ends up throwing the first punch, but word is from people close by, this guy was being so belligerent. Supposedly he was being belligerent at a female concession worker. And finally, the usher did a little wham, wham, and he cracks him in the face. So that's wrong. I get it. But I think a lot of stuff happened before. And then they break him up. And they break him up, Patrick. And then the fan spits on the guy. And the dude has his belt in it. And he said, nope, you're about to get a whooping for that. Patrick, you got to get a whooping for that. Is there anything more derogatory than spitting on another human being? Isn't that about as
many, bro?
Yes.
There's not many, my guy.
Oh my goodness gracious! It was terrible. Hey, I want to lighten it up a little bit. How about this story? And this surprised me. This is sports history. Okay, you're with me, Pat? This is this date in sports history, 1954. And there's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 30 for 30 story on this. Okay, 1954, a British distance runner named Roger Bannister, very famous. I've heard that name for years, Roger Bannister. There's a 30 for 30. He was the first human being to officially break the 4-minute mile. Okay?
Yeah.
So in the 40s and 50s, trying to run a sub 4-minute mile was the goal. Everybody in the world was trying to. Well, he was the first guy, and there's a 30 for 30. He broke the 4-minute. He ran 3:59.4. So he broke. That was a huge milestone in sports, right? I wasn't alive.
Absolutely, I remember that.
I've seen the 30 for 30. It's a great 30 for 30. What got me, Patrick? I'm researching that this morning. I said I want to talk about this. So I said, what is the current world record for the outdoor mile? Okay. So I look it up.
Mm-hmm.
A guy from Morocco in a track meet in Rome, he ran 3:43.13. So it's gone from 3:59 in 1954 down to 3:43. But Pat, here's the thing. That record was set in 1999. Why has no one run a sub 3:43 since 1999, Patrick?
Yeah, you would think.
Wouldn't you?
And I don't think a woman has yet run a sub 4-minute mile. So there, because I saw a thing. There's a lady. She's trying to, she's got a really good chance. I think her best finish was like 4:04 or 4:03. So it's possible.
Man,
it definitely is possible. Yeah, that's interesting.
Patrick, two things. Number one, you think a lot like I do. We're on the same wavelength. I also looked up what is the number one mile mark for a woman in history. Right now, it was set by a woman, a Kenyan woman, in 2023 ran a 4:07. So a woman has not broken it, but they're getting close. But Patrick,
Wow.
I can't believe the mile record has stood at 3:43 since 1999. I don't understand why.
I think I think there's just some records I think aren't going to be broken. I think, and even if they do, like sports like that are time wise.
Yeah.
It's like, if someone beats Usain Bolt's record, it's going to be like by points. Like there's never going to be someone to run it in 3.5. I don't think that's impossible. If it gets broken, it'll be like 3:42.8 or something like that.
I got you. Now I do have one theory, and it may or may not be right. I'm not a track and field guy, but I'm going to throw one theory as to why the men's outdoor world record in the mile has not been broken since 1999. My first theory would be maybe it has been broken a couple times, but the wind, there's a calculation that you can't break a record outdoors if the wind is at your back too strong. Wind aided. They'll call it wind aided. And it doesn't. Maybe it's been broken, but it's all been wind aided. I don't know. But, I don't know. Casey may have a thought on this as well. It stunned me that the mile world record has stood since 1990. We're in 2025, guys. I don't know. Somebody help me. I don't know. 1999. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. So I know I never got close to it. I'll tell you that. Okay, we're starting to wrap up the show. Tomorrow we'll come up. We'll be right back here on Action Sports Jacks, 4 o'clock on a Wednesday edition. We hope you can join us. We didn't get to hit a lot of the topics I wanted to, including we touched on it yesterday with Brent Beard. What about Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldog recruiting machine? My God, they get the 5-star quarterback yesterday to commit, and I know that's not signed, but they get the commitment from the 5-star quarterback to the Bulldogs. It looks like, unless Georgia totally tanks between now and signing day in December, it looks like Georgia will rack up another top 3 finish in football recruiting. If they do, that will be the 10th consecutive top 3 finish. Patrick, 10 in a row, top 3. Are you kidding me? That's how you win a lot of games.
That is how you win a lot of games. I think Pat had to drop off for a second, but I mean, there's no surprise that they're as good as they are and as dominant as they have been for so long.
I think that is the old Jimmy's and Joe's X's and O's. You can have all the X's and O's you want. Give me the best players, and I'm probably going to beat you, Casey.
More times than not. I would say more times than not you are going to.
Do you have a thought? I don't want to catch you off guard. Any thought on that mile record that has stood 3:43 since 1999? That blew me away when I researched that this morning.
It's surprising just because it feels like there's better athletes in every single sport right now. Like there just seems to be better athletes. So it is surprising that would still be the case. But I mean, 3:43 is all in.
God, that is smoking, man. You realize, Patrick? I mean, Casey, we've all had PE class,
sure,
and we've all been to high school football fields. In the old days, college, Ohio State used to have a track around their field. We all know what a quarter-mile track is like, right? We could go to the local high school right now, and we could walk a quarter mile. That's a long way around that guy that set the record, 3:40. He went 4 times around in 3 minutes and 43 seconds. 4.
It's wild.
And dude, there's not a lot of pacing in that, right? The gun goes off, and you run about maybe not 100. You're doing what? At least 90% sprint, right?
Oh, definitely. The whole time.
God almighty. That is crazy. Hey, going back to some highlights that you and I talked about, and I just didn't think they were appropriate. Have you seen the Pittsburgh Pirate fan fighting with the usher?
No, I haven't.
Oh, man. It is ugly. Now, the usher does throw the first punches. He does a 1-2 right-left cross, but you see the video, and they're in each other's face. And the fan guy, and again, I wasn't there, I'm just watching. It looks like the fan guy just kept agitating and agitating. So there's a 1-2 thrown. They kind of break. I don't know what the hell's going on in Pittsburgh. They're jumping out of the stands. They're fighting. They kind of break up. It's on the concourse somewhere. They break up, and then there's people around them. But you can see the fan guy. Yes, he did get punched 1-2, and that's wrong. I get that. But then he spits toward the guy. He doesn't really hit him, I don't think. But my God, and the usher guy already had his belt in his hand. And
Ready.
He starts whipping him, and I can't blame him. He belt whips him.
I mean, I guess the alternative to, like, that's what happens if you go to watch the Pirates. Like, it's so bad you may jump out of the stands, you may fight an usher.
Yes. Well, it's funny you said that. One of the headlines, and I hate to say this, but they said, well, at least somebody got a hit in PNC Park that day.
Yikes.
By the way, Skeens is on the mound today against St. Louis. Hopefully the Pirates can score. Hopefully the Pirates can score. Here's another little topic we didn't get to today, and it's a sad topic because, well, it involves death. Death is sad, right, Casey?
That's what they say.
Yeah, death. And I feel for this, and I'm not making fun, but there was a British super motorcycle race. Okay. These are souped up, incredible motorcycles. They can go 1,000,000 miles an hour. This British super bike race, they don't make it out of the first lap. There's a massive crash involving 11 of these souped up bikes. And these aren't like circle tracks. These are like Formula One.
Yep.
So I'm not laughing because 2 people died, but this super bike British motorcycle race, they don't make it out of the first lap. 11 bike crash, 2 dead. I'm like, well, maybe it has to do with you've got motorcycles on 2 wheels with about 8 million horsepower. Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Casey, they don't make it out of the first lap.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, I will say, we were talking about this earlier. Of all the things you could watch, I feel like I've never once considered watching motorcycle racing.
Yeah, I got an idea. Let's watch some motorcycle races. And I mean,
I'm out.
When and we've all been out there. I've had it happen recently. I'm on the streets of Jax Vegas, man. And you got these guys go flying by you, right?
Yeah,
they don't want to wait in traffic or something, or they just, or you're on the expressway and you're doing 75, and these motorcycle guys they've got to be doing 100 miles an hour.
Oh, easy, over.
And dude, at least I have a little protection in my car. Dude, they're just out there, man.
They're just out there. All they got's a helmet.
You're like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I've never been a believer that I would be a motorcycle rider. I guess it's tough.
You've never been I've never been a guy that says I'm going to go buy a motorcycle ever. And I know you're a bunch younger than me. They say a lot of guys, you start hitting 40 or whatever, you start, I need what do they call that? They call that like
midlife crisis.
Yeah. Boom. The old midlife 45-year-old I've never said, I'm going to go get me a motorcycle. I don't want a, what do they call it? A rocket or a cruiser or Harley. Never interests me one bit. You either?
No, I'm all set. I'll keep my
I'm
car.
Good. I'm good. All right, we got 2 minutes left. We'll get out of here. We had a couple of other sports history things I didn't quite get to. This date, sports history, 1915. Some guy named Babe Ruth hit his first home run. I think he's going to hit a lot more. First one in 1915. How about this? And Casey, you know baseball as well as anybody. How about this sport? This date in sports history, 1934. The Red Sox, in a Major League Baseball game, 4 consecutive triples. How do you do that? The triple's harder to hit than the home run.
Huh? That is wild.
4 consecutive. I told you about this date, sports history, 1954. Roger Bannister finally breaks the 4-minute mile. Real quick, Casey, have you ever? There's a 30 for 30 on this. It's really fascinating. Have you seen it?
I have not.
If you get a chance, watch it. And this was one of those sports moments that captivated the world. I mean, America was getting reports from Europe and Asia. Everybody was trying to officially break the 4-minute mile, and it went for years. It was finally broken by Roger Bannister. It was a really neat 30 for 30. If you get a chance, watch it. This date, sports history, 1982. Gaylord Perry, the knuckleballer, was the 15th pitcher to reach 300 wins. And this date, sports history, 1992. I remember when it happened. The Mets had a pitcher by the name of Anthony Young. He had a losing streak of 27 consecutive decisions. He went 0-14 as a starter and 0-13 as a reliever.
Maybe
I remember it well. Oh, and I think he just quit.
I would quit.
Casey, I think he just put the ball on the mound and walked off.
I would have quit at like 12.
Yes. I would have damn sure quit before I set the record. Because
yeah, definitely.
You're in history.
You can't be that guy. You can't be the worst of all time. You just can't do it.
Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. All right, that'll wrap it up. Fun show today. Thanks to Casey. Thanks to Trent. And, of course, Patrick Young. I'm Terry Norvelle. We'll get together again tomorrow, a Wednesday Hump Day edition. Don't miss it. 4 o'clock, we'll kick off the Young Norvelle Show right here on Action Sports Jacks.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry. We still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC,
you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer. You can schedule a test drive at nimnickbuickgmc.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC.